me tell you something. There is no nobility in poverty. I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time. Because at least as a rich man, when I have to face my problems, I show up in the back of a limo wearing a $2,000 suit and a $40,000 gold fucking watch.
It's time. Your triple bogey, long shot parlay, full send degenerates had a place to call home. Look no further. It's the DGEN podcast.
Can you believe it? Because I can. It's the return, the reboot of the DGEN podcast. Back in action, better than ever. I'm your host, Wayno Wagyu, alongside the new co-host of the DGEN podcast, Mikey Rom.
Yes, sir.
Let's not forget, this podcast is brought to you by our sponsor, Sunday Swagger. Use promo code DGEN15 to get 50% off your next purchase at sundayswagger.com. Tonight, we have a very special guest coming on the podcast, World Series champion Jonathan Papelbon, and I couldn't be any more fired up. But in the meantime, before we bring him on, we're actually going to introduce our new co-host, Mikey Rom. What is up, brother? Tell the people about yourself.
Thanks, Wayno. What an introduction. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Happy to join. Come on and do the podcast. Mikey Rom, make bets. Watch sports. Make bets. Big bets.
Big bets.
Winners only. And some losers, but we keep shooting.
Dude,
but
always.
On the South Shore. Me and Wayno go way back. Been friends since we were childhood. We're related, so seen each other at our best and seen each other at our worst, and excited to get started and talk some sports betting, sports, and all things life. So excited to jump on podcast.
Life. Well, before we get into the Jonathan Papelbon topic, I do want to ask you, if you had an expertise in the sports betting world, what do you think it would be? Like what sports?
Everything. No, I'm just kidding. I bet my best sport is definitely football, good old American football, and also football, Premier League, Serie A.
But did you even play soccer growing up? I don't remember you ever played soccer. How did you get into
I wasn't what you would call it. I was a striker. Wasn't the fastest, wasn't the strongest, wasn't the quickest, but I put the ball in the net. I think on the season, my best season was 1 goal and 1 assist.
Dude, you're on the scoreboard.
Last game of the season. Yeah, so I made the switch to American football pretty quickly, but I'm a soccer fanatic now.
We will wait no longer. We will bring in this guest we have waiting in the green room, Jonathan Papelbon. We actually have this pre-recorded for all you guys out there, so we're going to kick to this interview that we did with Jonathan Papelbon the other day, see how you like it, and we'll come back here shortly. All right, everybody, so we're here alongside Jonathan Papelbon. John, welcome to the show. How you doing, man?
Thanks for having me, man. I'm doing well, brother.
Good. So I guess the first question I have for you, and I guess one that I'm most excited to ask, is Ohtani. I don't know how familiar you are with him, but seeing what he's doing right now, in the MLB, not just excelling highly pitching-wise, but excelling hitting-wise, for a guy that did it as well as you did, throwing the ball, how hard is it to be that good on that level at both sides of the plate, I guess we'll call it?
Yeah, to me, I do a lot of the Red Sox pregame shows on NESN, and even with all the cameo calls, I've gotten questions about this dude. And to me, I want to meet his team, who's behind this guy, and how is he doing this, because it really – and what time does he get into the field every day? I mean, Lord of mercy, the work that this guy's got to put in and the team that he needs behind him to do this is pretty remarkable, and I'm glad I'm in the era to be able to watch it and see it, man.
Yeah, so it's actually funny you say that, preparing and getting ready. I'm pretty sure the other day some sort of sports news media outlet was talking about how some games he doesn't even take batting practice before, and then he's getting up there and he's doing what he's doing, which is extremely remarkable. I guess transitioning more into like the game nowadays and seeing something like that's rare. I'm a fan of like the rivalries and the grit and a lot of high energy and, I just feel like, in a way, unfortunately, baseball has lost some of its edge in that regard. I know you obviously were a guy with a lot of emotion and wore on your sleeves to your benefit when you played. Do you think that, I guess, for lack of better terms, the game is missing that right now? Do you think doesn't have the grit it should or it used to have?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you to a certain extent. There's still some players that grind and that play hard-nosed baseball. I think just the game overall has changed. Everybody's got the same agents now. Everybody knows each other. Everybody goes out to dinner and blah, blah, blah. That didn't really happen when I was playing. And when I was coming up, of course, I was the soft one, and all the guys before me were the real hard-nosed ball players. And I just tried to really emulate them and how they played. But, man, playing behind Jason Varitek for all those years, it's hard not to be a dirt dog. But, I just think that it's the way the game is evolving, and they're trying to protect players more, which is I get that. And there's a whole lot more money involved now than ever. So there's another, facet of the whole entire Major League Baseball.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I mean, where everyone's so entwined these days, it's really easy to become friends with people from all over the league, which isn't the worst thing. But I guess from a fan's perspective, seeing that energy and I guess that rivalry sense, it goes a long way for us. But I guess we'll take a trip down memory lane. 2007 Red Sox World Series champion. You threw the last pitch to win it all in Colorado. Can you just there you go, brother. There it is. Can you just take us through the emotions and what's that like? I know I had Johnny Damon on before. You need to describe his experiences with the World Series. How did that feel for you throwing that last pitch?
Kurt Schilling told me after the game, he goes, "You've done something I've always wanted to do, strike out the last hitter to win the World Series." And on top of that, he was a big rival of mine in college at Ole Miss and Mississippi State for so many years, which also, national championship. Shout out to my boys.
Absolutely.
So to me, it was the ultimate thing, and I don't think I came down from it for 2 weeks. I think I just stayed on this high for 2 weeks and just, had a blast, So to me, it was, obviously life-changing and one of the most remarkable, achievements of my career.
Yeah, definitely one that I'll always remember. I know, obviously, we were pretty blessed with the championship runs throughout all the sports teams. I was relatively younger when they first broke the curse, but that first World Series that you won with the Red Sox was the first one that I was old enough to really appreciate and grasp and realize wow, how incredible is this? I know you also mentioned you got the shirt on right now. Your boys, they won the national championship. What was that like seeing, your home I guess your favorite college, for a lack of better terms, take it all? And they went against some pretty serious competition this year against Vanderbilt with Leiter and Rocker and all those guys.
Yeah, everybody counted us out going against 2 number 1 draft picks and first round draft picks. And, we at Mississippi State have a long tradition in Omaha. And, we've just had this curse, almost like the Red Sox. I told a lot of reporters this, and they broke it, after all these trips to the World Series. And so, we had fun. We partied hard. And, I'm just proud of those boys and that team. They're a great, fun team to watch. And, they'll go down in history, not quite like the Red Sox, but, for Mississippi State and all the people associated with it, for sure.
Yeah, the college game in general, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, at least from what I grasp being up north, it seems like the college game for most sports is bigger down south than the professional side of things. I guess one last thing I want to ask before we wrap up is you played for the Red Sox here in Boston and you played for the Phillies in Philadelphia. From what I understand, Philly fans, whether it be football or basketball or whatever else, are pretty much just as passionate as a Red Sox fan or a Boston fan in general. What was your experience? Did you hate the Sox fans because sometimes we're really critical, or did you love the Sox fans? Were the Phillies tougher to deal with, or were they easier to deal with? In your opinion, how did that go?
Hey, look, man, I love the Phillies fans and I love the Red Sox fans. Here's the thing, man. I love it when I show up to the park and I get booed. I love it when I get cheered for. I love it when somebody heckles me the whole game. I've told many hecklers, thank you. I appreciated that because I needed that because I was half asleep in this bullpen and now I'm ready to go. So, both fans have their unique personalities. Both cities are great baseball cities. And, to hold the saves record in Boston and Philadelphia for me, it's pretty special. And, what more could you ask for really from two different cities?
Yeah. I guess, I for being such a passionate sports fan, I always make the mistake of comparing my passion to other cities like Philadelphia or Chicago. But it's good to hear that. Like that answer. I'm content with it. But
yeah, man, no city compares to Boston, man. I'll just say that much.
Perfect. Well, hey, man, I really appreciate the time. Thanks again for coming on. Everybody, Jonathan Papelbon, living legend, won another World Series for our city, so we're forever grateful and wish you all the best going forward, enjoying your retirement, and much, much more, man.
Okay, Wayne, thanks. Take care.
Thank you, John. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And we are back from the Jonathan Papelbon interview from the other day. Very good stuff. Great guy, and welcome back anytime. But, Mike, the MLB All-Star Game, brother. A topic that I feel like gets lost in the shuffle these days in sports. We're going to bring it up because we feel like there was some good shit that happened, some good stuff needs to be talked about with the MLB All-Star Game. So we're going to bring it up. We're going to get started. I'll let you hammer away first. What is your, I guess, biggest takeaway from MLB All-Star Weekend?
Yeah, great weekend of baseball. I feel like this year MLB is picking up some steam again, which is great to see. It feels like more and more people are paying attention to watching. Especially, I guess we can start with the home run derby. What an event, unless you're ESPN. ESPN completely fumbled it. Terrible, terrible cut. I mean, whoever's producing that needs to take a good long look in the mirror between the split camera angles and the no ball tracker on the home runs. I mean, people are just ripping dingers, and you just have no idea how far they're going. They're making notes at the end of it.
I don't know
terrible,
how you can get away in any – even like golf. Even if you watch golf, they have the ball tracer. You know what I mean? Like, how can you get away with not having a ball tracer in a home run derby of all things? A home run derby of all things. Like, the people at home cannot see the ball leaving the ballpark. They can't see where the ball is going. Like, that's, the biggest part. And, usually at the end of, each – round they have it's almost like the rainbows, and it shows where each one went and the tracker and stuff. I don't even think I remember seeing that.
Yeah, I mean, the year 2021, the ball tracker is a must. We got it seems like no rules on how fast you can pitch and how you have to wait. We got some pitches firing them one after another. The balls are in the air at the same time. You got some pitchers doing a full windup and checking them around first before they pitch. And it was just,
well, wait, it's funny you say that because there's obviously a lot of variation, but one thing that was pretty consistent is the fielding. First of all, how do you become a shagger? I want to become a shagger. And second of all, how much experience did they have playing baseball prior to being a shagger? Because the performances out there were dude, you're watching this and you're getting anxiety. Someone's going to get fucking hurt.
I think that the qualifications to be a shagger is you can never have played baseball before in your life. You can never have thrown a baseball, caught a baseball. They just pick you from a pool of people and they say, hey, have you ever played baseball? No. Okay, go try to catch the balls. I feel like they're wanting people to get hit with balls in the head. It was just piss poor performance.
Well, you got to think majority of these people probably have some sort of relation or something to somebody in the game or part of the MLB. And they just say hey, want to catch some fly balls? Yeah, sure. Billy Joel and Joanne and all these people, and it's funny because you think but you look at the MLB product as a whole right now, and they're struggling so hardcore to keep fans, retain fans, and keep people interested, get young blood in to pump the sport up and get it what other sports are right now. And you would think that's a perfect opportunity to get kids or get people that are really invested in the game at a young age into the hype of being like, hey, we're doing like a thing online, MLB.com, where like you put your name in and whatever, and you enter, and you have a chance to be one of the ball shaggers. Like, how has that not been an idea yet? I'm not a smart guy, and I just thought of that on the top of the dome, and like, how, you know what I mean? Like, how has nobody thought of this?
I completely agree. I mean, you got people in the stands. I don't know if you saw on the broadcast, people diving over railings, going down the tunnel, people doing somersaults. Get the people in the stands out on the field. They'll be making highlight catches. Like, we got to do better.
Dads with the beers and the babies catching the balls that I want to see out there in the field, shagging.
We got dads dropping babies to keep the home run balls. I mean, that's the intensity that you want to see. It's just quite the spectacle.
Well, aside from like the, I guess, presentation of it and like that shit, we'll leave that up to the side for now. We'll go to the home run derby since we're on that right now. Player wise, what was like the thing that was like your biggest shock and the thing that you were most disappointed at? Like give me some of your takeaways from the home run derby itself.
Yeah. Well, as far as like the star power was out. You got Tate, Ohtani, kind of flopped. That's kind of a big story. Like, he got knocked down in the first round by Soto.
Dude,
unbelievable performance by Soto.
28 home runs still was like not something to sneeze at. Like 28 home runs was still really good, but he lost. Like, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and unbelievable performance by Soto, going 3 for 3 on the balls at the end in the double tiebreaker. I mean, he just 3 for 3. Line him up, send him to the fucking moon, and Ohtani pops out on his first ball. It was just big balls by Soto on that. And that's what you love to see. That's what makes the.
But he's also been before. He was in the World Series. He's like been in like those pressure moments. Not like the home run derby really compares to like the stature of like a fucking World Series. But like you can relatively like compare apples and oranges to that point. But what I take away more so is like Ohtani going 0 for 2 in the All-Star game for a guy. I guess like he's playing with the best of the best, and there were other guys that were great that went for whatever and stuff. But like, not that I'm necessarily surprised. I'm like disappointed because like he was such a big name leading into it, and had so much hype around him. Like the people that were maybe on the fence, like clicking through the TV and saw it and were like, "Oh, this Ohtani guy, I want to see what he's finally all about." And he's up there and he's not performing. So that was a little disappointing for me. But more or less the home run derby, even though he didn't win, dude. Vlad Jr., how can you not be extremely head over heels hyped up about this guy? Like,
I mean, like son, he wins the MVP. He wins the All-Star Game MVP. There's a picture I saw circulating on Twitter of his dad holding up the MVP, and little Vladdy Jr. sitting next to him at the All-Star Game, and now Vladdy Jr. is holding the MVP trophy up. It's a crazy story, and that ass is a wagon. I know.
Dude, so good. But actually, fun fact, he's actually the youngest MVP ever at the All-Star game. So the list is him, then Ken Griffey Jr., and then Mike Trout. Johnny Bench is actually the youngest guy ever to make the All-Star game at 21 years old back in 69. But not just that, but he was also added to the list of father-sons to hit in the All-Star game a home run. You have Ken Griffey Jr., Ken Griffey Sr., Barry Bonds, Bobby Bonds, and now Vladdy and Vladdy Jr., which is like super, super cool to be part of that exclusive list. You think of all those people and you into like Hall of Fame caliber. So like, at least like it wasn't just like a random stat that popped up for a random guy. It was something like that holds substance, which is awesome. But was there anybody else in the All-Star game that like popped out to you?
Well, I think it was cool we had Xander, and we're Red Sox fans. I feel like we should probably say for listeners that don't know from the Boston area, but having shortstop, third baseman combo was kind of cool to see. Xander had a pretty good night, and I got to cash that AL win ticket plus 104. That was a little plug for myself. Wish we recorded this before the game. I could have gave that out, but that was never a sweat, never in doubt, which was nice. But yeah.
So another cool thing about actually fucking Xander Bogaerts and Rafi Devers is they were the first shortstop, third base duo to start in the All-Star game since Jeter and A-Rod, which is another super cool, fucking tidbit. But I guess backtrack a little bit to the home run derby, you can't help but like always look for a feel-good story, feel-good moment. And the first thing that pops into my mind is the Trey Mancini. You had guys like Vladdy Jr. and a couple other guys holding like, the signs in the beginning when they're all in the field, like, what do I play for? Or I forget exactly what it said on it. And two of them, including Vladdy, had Trey Mancini written on their board. I don't know if you want to get into what is up with Trey Mancini for the people that don't know, but do you mind explaining?
Yeah, so Trey Mancini, unfortunately, was diagnosed with cancer. He's an unbelievable baseball player, and that kind of people thought that might railroad his career, but he battled back, and now, he's at All-Star Weekend. He's hitting dingers. He's making it to the final of the Home Run Derby. He's hitting 24 dingers. He's the first one up, fucking cranking 24 dingers to the moon. And you just, like you said, it's definitely it's the most feel-good storyline of the All-Star Weekend and maybe the whole MLB season, the season he's having. So definitely a play to watch. Humble guy, nice guy. If you've ever seen an interview of him, he's grateful for everything that he has, and just a really good baseball player, and a really good person, it seems like. So
he made it to the finals. He made it to the finals of the Home Run Derby. He had 59 home runs going into the final there against fucking Pete Alonso, who I fucking hate. I think he's overrated and he's garbage, and he's just. That's another topic I want to talk about here in a second. But the first person that I compared this Trey Mancini guy to, which God bless the guy, not only just for surviving stage 3 colon cancer, but playing for the fucking Baltimore Orioles and like being a waste of talent on such a shitty team. But anyways,
yeah,
facts, dude. Like
maybe he'll get his move. Maybe he'll get his move after this
dude,
this year. You never know. Always hope.
And like I immediately think of John Lester for the Red Sox. He battled cancer, came back. I think it was actually leukemia. Came back, and the rest is history. And look at him now. You know what I mean? World Series champion, a whole lot of other stuff to his resume. So it's just good to see good guys like that have good careers after such tough circumstances. But back to the Pete Alonso thing. I hope like we're having like some sort of like.
Let me hear. Yeah.
No. Because I want to see if you're in the same chat with me. I want to see if we're having like I'm a mentalist right now. Okay, like we having a mental. We're having a thing like where we're gonna connect and see if you're thinking what I'm thinking. Okay, Pete Alonso, he won the home run derby. Was there anything after that agitated you about him?
I mean, just his whole face and demeanor agitates me. I mean, the guy can hit fucking home runs. I'll give him that, defending champ. But why don't you go ahead?
So first of all, he hits a lot of home runs. He strikes out by the dozen. Second of all,
I agree. He doesn't do anything else. He doesn't bring anything else to the table.
Thank you. But what really pissed me the fuck off was this guy is out there acting like he's on like Miami Hurricanes football team with this big gold chain necklace that the MLB gave him, spinning that shit. And like I'm thinking to myself, dude, why is the MLB trying so hard to like be cool and like be hip? Like I get it, you gotta like appeal to these younger viewers and stuff like that. That was just like so corny, it hurt my body to watch. So he's out there like spinning it, and he was like fucking like when somebody's serious and really is into it. He was like so into it and so serious, and it made me want to fucking vomit. Just like it was so gross to see. And then on top of that, which I actually thought was kind of cool, but also I had mixed feelings about it, was I don't know if you saw like the night before, they had like the purple carpet. And they were all like in their suits and shit.
I don't know what the MLB is doing with that. That was, I mean, I get the idea, but I mean, you gotta be better, MLB. You gotta know that.
Like I like what they're trying to do. Like at least they're trying to put some sort of effort in, and like make MLB All-Star Weekend like a thing again, where like people, it's like what I mean, that hip vibe. I get it. Like they're trying so fucking hard, but they're just not figuring it out. Like there's something missing from that. And I don't know, like. I'm just having a tough time with it, but nevertheless, the game itself ended in the American League 5, National League 2.
Cash it
to the bank, which was like such an easy bet. If you took National League,
that's when you put it in and you just go to sleep. That's one of those.
But was there like anybody during the game? I don't know how much you watched of it that like surprised you, like you didn't know was as good. They were as good as they actually are, like a new face or anything like that.
I mean, all the stats shown, I guess. I mean, there's nothing that really jumped out to me. I thought it was a cool moment when they were interviewing Tatis and Vladdy Jr. hits the fucking bomb in his face, like while they're interviewing him. That was kind of cool to see.
Did you see the Fernando Tatis thing when they introduced him, and it was like that new thing, like the TikTok trending. It's like dude, I don't want to say it.
That,
It's gonna be so
that was cringe.
so put your hands.
That was cringe. I
on
saw
my
a clip of that.
shoulder. Hold on, wait, time out. We're gonna flip to that real quick right now. All right, and we're back, and now you saw just what I was talking about. People still didn't keep on saying, but Mike, you get what I'm saying, right?
Yes. For anyone that didn't see that, and we just showed it to you, I'm so sorry. I mean, you probably feel very violated right now. It made you uncomfortable, but I guess that's what the MLB's got to do to keep up with the TikTok trends these days.
I get it. Like, they're really trying to be hip, and like they finally have some edgy, cool players like Tatis, Vladdy, Mookie. Well, I guess Mookie Betts isn't really like that kind of person, but they have those kind of personalities starting to build up a little bit in the MLB, and they're trying to capitalize and take advantage on it. But like, there's just certain things you don't do, and like,
I just think there's more TikToks that they could have done besides that one. They could have done a million other TikTok trends, but they decided to pick that one. Maybe Tatis wanted it. Maybe that's how. I mean, no. Hey, he's the face of baseball. I guess he can do whatever the hell he wants. So, but I really like the personality though, and it was a good moment when they're interviewing him at shortstop. Vladdy hits the bomb, and he's rounded second, and he's just firing off stuff in Spanish to Vladdy as he runs by. So it's kind of cool to see,
it's super cool.
Players talking to each other on the field. I wish people could be mic'd up more. I know it's not feasible in regular season games, but I always love a good player mic'd up and something good happening or something unexpected happening, and you get a good sound bite and something that you wouldn't hear unless you were there at the field. So
yeah. So it's funny you say that, actually, because last year, I think it was, or maybe the year before that, Anthony Rizzo was the first one that they really started doing that with, and he was playing first base for the Cubs, and it like went over huge. Everybody on sports talk radio and a lot of big baseball fans responded like really receptively to it, and like were really like all about it. And even since then, it's kind of like people are asking for it. They want that. Like, it's like you just said, it's a super cool thing. You get like in-time reactions and really get to connect with the athlete's personality. Like, how many times you actually get a chance to like listen to a player talk? You know what I mean? You really just know them from like how they interact like during the game. So like you have to hit not just like their voice, but like the swagger and like all that sort of shit behind them. It's super cool. So like you just said, I hope they fucking start doing that more, because they need to do something. It's fucking It's
I've been on the record. I've been saying this for years, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners will agree. I would pay an ungodly amount of money, like subscription, for any of the 4 major sports if you could just get a live mic and just listen to that.
Oh yeah,
through the broadcast.
Absolutely.
I know they probably will never do that because there's some bad stuff that's said, in sports. But I would pay hundreds of dollars a year for each sport to hear that, just because it's. I mean, for people who have played sports, it's just the raw. It's just the announcers are great and the sounds of the game that they do allow are great, but there's nothing better than just hearing that raw, player-to-player interaction, emotion. It's
shut the up. A lot of information can kill you. But when we start the game in an express rocker, and you don't know if you're in Canada or San Jose right there. And it's almost comical.
Well, the reason why we can't do that, Mike, is obviously we have a lot of Karens out there. So God bless the Karens ruining the fun for all of us. But, I mean, I guess we'll get off the MLB All-Star Game topic. I do have some MLB quick draft notes. I don't know how, into the whole MLB draft you are, but there was a couple of names I want to touch on, in particular, that were circulating with the Red Sox and, their draft. Obviously, last year, they weren't a very good team. They got a very high draft pick this year, number 4 overall. Jack Leiter of Vandy, he was the name.
That's my guy.
And everybody wanted him. Everybody's hoping to get him. Went number 2 to the Texas Rangers. And I'll tell you what, very, very disappointed, to say the least, because you're talking it's just a generational talent,
Yeah.
So if anybody is out there and not familiar, it's just, you got to look him up.
If you don't know the name Jack Leiter now, you will know it in the next few years. I see him getting to the big leagues very quickly. If you have not seen clips of this guy or his highlights, this man throws absolute gas. The movement on his pitches is amazing. His wind-up, his swagger, his demeanor, he's going to be a good MLB pitcher for years to come, and you'll be seeing him soon. So I think that is like the highlight of the draft. Him going number 2 was, the pick of the draft, in my opinion. I'm bummed the Red Sox didn't get him. So,
and like it is what it is. Like they're not going to trade up to get him. They have to give too much to get even up 2 spots at that position. But then you look at a guy that fell to number 10. I consider fell because I think he is a very good talent. He was the number 1 starter for Vandy, in front of Jack Leader, how you pronounce the last name. I really don't care. But Kumar Rocker went to the Mets, Vandy at number 10, and you got to think to yourself, as much as he didn't really perform, up to the standards of what people thought like a number 1 starter should be for a Vandy team. Mm-hmm. Still a guy that like I would take the risk on at number 4. Instead, they went with Marcelo Meyer, shortstop out of East Lake High School in California. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, if that was like a Bill Belichick move, not like that, like the kid's bad. He's obviously lights out if he's number 4 overall. But high school, you got to think, all right, 1, 2, 3, at least 4 years before you even smell this guy in AAA.
Yeah.
And I get like you got to build for the future and stuff, but god damn it, dude, I wanted someone like exciting and just.
I mean, I'll say this: in Chaim Bloom we trust. He's from a small market, Tampa Rays. He's money at drafting. They have to draft like that in the Rays system because they don't have the money to go out and buy big free agents like, say a Red Sox or Yankees or Dodgers could do. So I don't know too much about him either. He seems like a decent prospect, but he's still got Bogarts. I mean, I feel like we're going to see him sooner rather than later if we don't re-sign Bogarts. I'm hoping we do, and we can kind of let him sit for a while. But you gotta trust in Chaim. He knows what he's doing. He's drafted in small markets. He's got money now. He can draft in big markets the same way. And I just I'm hoping this is a good pick. Like you said, I don't know too much about him, but excited to see what he can do for the Red Sox for sure.
Absolutely. Well, we'll get off the MLB topic. I actually want to finish up this podcast because, believe it or not, people, it's actually coming to a conclusion. But Mike, I don't know if you know, but I'm wearing a Sunday Swagger golf shirt, and that makes me want to ask you, when is it time for Mikey Rom to get on the golf wagon? Golfing people.
Listen.
I feel like this sport of golf is blowing up, and you're just watching it pass you by.
Listen, you're right. You're 100% right. I have no reason to defend myself. I can say nothing to defend myself. The most golf I've played, I've fucking hit dingers on the driving range, piss drunk. Yeah. That's my golfing experience.
But that's a start.
I do need, yeah, and I've broken a few heads. Lost a few clubs out of my hand, but I got to get on the links. We'll have to set up a time to get out there soon. I feel like golf, getting older, got to get on the golf course. I'm not exactly, running 40-yard dash sprints anymore. Golf's something that I can still do because I'm a very competitive person. I love, being active. And I've been holding the line for some reason. All my friends are into golf. You're obviously heavy into golf. The Sunday Swagger shirt, shout out to them. That shirt's beautiful, by the way.
Yeah,
unbelievable shirt.
This is the the Fresh Prince.
I don't know if the viewers can see, and I know they can't, but unbelievable shirt.
Fresh Prince print. I got 3 other ones they sent me free of advertising before on the page, but yeah, this is fresh as fuck. For people who don't know either, Mike is actually a southpaw. Otherwise, I would drag his ass out with me, but not gonna hit with righty clubs. So, but. First podcast in the books with my new co-host here. How do you think you feel? You got your feet wet yet or what?
Yeah, feet are definitely wet, feeling good. Obviously a little bit of the nerves, starting out, but,
you got to kick the dust
I've known you for a long time. You know me. We're just going to vibe on and talk some sports gambling. I do just want to, plug for next week. I know this podcast isn't going to come out till after the Game 4 of the NBA Finals, but I quickly just want to say for future self so we can talk about it in the next podcast.
Yep.
Suns +4, Suns of 5, Suns. Chris Paul to the moon, Devin Booker to the moon. Shout out Kendall Jenner. Suns.
Oh, shout out Kenny Jenny. Come on, baby. All right. Well, cool. And one last thing, too, for you guys listening out there. Me and Mike are actually crypto geniuses. At least I try to pretend. So quick.
We're going down the rabbit hole. We want to say
story. Me and Mike went out for dinner like a couple weeks ago. And we got so hammered, piss drunk, sitting there sipping margarita flights, talking about crypto. And needless to say, I really don't know anything. I fake it till I make it. He's a fucking smart ass kid. I think I know enough. I can contribute to this podcast, but we're going to swing a little crypto talk, a little financial talk, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little spring, and hope for the best. So look forward to that, awesome people. But Mike, do you want to cash us out? Do you want to send us, or do you want me to do the honors?
I feel like as the guest, you have to send us out on the first one. You gotta not the guest, but all right.
I know what you mean. Don't worry, you're still knocking out the rest. We'll take care of it. All right, people. Well, welcome back to the DGEN podcast. We're happy to get the first one back in the books with you guys. Thanks again to Jonathan Papelbon. Thank you to Sunday Swagger, our special sponsor here, official sponsor here. Use promo code DGEN15 to get that 15%. In the meantime, we will talk to you soon. We have another phenomenal guest on the come up very soon, so be ready for that announcement. Guys, peace out. Mike, peace out. DGEN podcast.
Have a good night, everyone.
Peace.
Thanks for listening.